should you become the Republican nominee for president. Although the polls are shifting, it's not going to be the coronation perhaps that Hillary Clinton thought it was going to be. But you may very well find yourself up against Hillary Clinton. What do you think of her? What do you think of Barack Obama?
Sean, I really want to take, again, the luxury of not getting into that right now.
Not even a little shot? I'm kidding.
Don't tempt me. No, I'm going to, you know, there's what, 8 months to the first primary. And,
it's all over February 5th, pretty much.
Yeah, well, yeah, but look, that's still a long time. If you can't get your message out there and deal with these things.
Let's deal with the people that are your immediate competition. You talked about Senator McCain. Rudy Giuliani is Thompson in most of the polls we read now. Although you're doing well for somebody that's not in the race, I'm sure you're probably following some of these.
You know, I'd be more likely to talk about the Democrats than I would the Republicans.
Oh, so you're striking me out on that one, too.
Let me try to be responsive to your question. As far as the Democrats, they are adhering to the extent they can to the most left-wing element of their base. You know, MoveOn.org and those folks are running the Democratic Party. And they're taking extremist positions and doing extremist things. Harry Reid is doing things that I think the American people are going to reject. They're as near to vesting in defeat of their own country as anything I've ever seen. And I don't think the American people will forgive them for that. So they're going through that exercise, and let's just let them go. Let's just give them a little rope and see what they do. Our name calling and carping on them right now is kind of wasted effort as far as I'm concerned.
Let me focus on what you just said. They're as close to investing in defeat.
Yeah.
That's a pretty severe charge. But I mean, if you say we lost in Iraq...
Well, when you say here is the funding, but I just want you to know you've already lost. Here is the life raft, but you're going to drown. Then you sit back as a politician, as they are. Where is the psychology of that? Where is your mind? Where is your heart as you see things go on? I know that they don't want to see our young people come to bad end in their heart of hearts. But look at the position that they're putting themselves in. When you get out there in the middle of this, and we're trying, it might be a last-ditch effort to turn this thing around so we can have some stability to give those people a shot down there before we leave, and announcing what use is that, what good is that, what purpose is that. Except, as they say later on, we're going to pick up Senate seats because of this. My goodness. I mean, where have we come to in this country?
Do you think there has to be a certain destiny to becoming president of the United States? I mean, in other words, you could put yourself in the arena, you could put yourself out there, you build up your resume to get to the point where you can even consider this. You've been a senator, we know your long career. But does there have to be a certain sense of that this was meant to be for you? Do you feel that?
Sean, that sounds a little bit for more than I'd like to say, further than I'd like to go. But I know what you're saying. I put it a different way. Maybe it's the same sort of thing. That in my case, I think the man has to meet the times. I'm not sure that I was ready for this before. I'm not sure, well, I know the times were not the way they are now. But there's something going on out there. And it's something different. I think it has to do with people's perception of all things Washington, for one thing. I think people are concerned about whether or not this greatest nation maybe is beginning to go like all the rest and starting to decline a little bit. There's been a tremendous response to me. Maybe it's because of what I represent. I like to think that it is. Maybe it's because I can look people in the eye and tell them what I'm thinking, and they know that at least that's what I'm thinking, whether they agree with me or not. Certain doors have opened to me from time to time in my life. I've not beaten down many of them, but oftentimes I walk through, and they've always worked out well. People say they're the fire in the belly. I'm kind of a slow-moving, slow-talking kind of guy a lot of times. I enjoy life, and I enjoy a good laugh. The only 2 elections I've ever run, I've won. And I won back home with greater margins than anybody else in the history of greater numbers than anybody else in the history of Tennessee. So I've been able to sense, I think, when the time was right. And I wouldn't call that destiny. That may be a little heavy. But I do sense that there's something different and special going on out in the country right now, and I may be able to answer that call.
Senator, thank you for being with us.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you. Appreciate it. Thank you.